Millions believed Elvis did it, but did Michael Jackson really do it? Fake his death. Alive. Is Michael Jackson really dead? Investigative journalist Pearl Jr. uncovered the facts in the 2005 trial. Now she's uncovered the most shocking true story of our lifetime. Alive. Is Michael Jackson really dead? This promises to blow your mind. Elbow Grease Productions, in association with MichaelJacksonInsider.com, presents
Well, as you know, the prosecution wants to show certain footage from the practice sessions of Michael Jackson, much of which was used to make the movie This Is It. We wanted to see what was left on the floor, basically. We wanted to look at all the practice footage. It's primarily rehearsal footage, in which Michael Jackson was there, and some days he wasn't there.
What jumped out at you when you saw these clips?
Excuse me?
What jumped out at you when you saw these clips? Anything
that he's very talented. That he's pretty good. Even on his bad days, he's good.
Was he sick?
Specifically?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what the prosecution's going to put in, but we wanted to make sure that the prosecution's portrayal and what they used was somewhat representative and accurate as to the overall picture. We've formed our opinions. I'm sure they've formed their opinions, and how those coincide or diverge, we'll find out during trial.
Was there anything that told you anything about his state of health?
Yes.
Can you tell us what that is?
No.
How many hours of footage is the judge going to be reviewing?
I think, well, the prosecution's asked for 12 hours. We've asked for 4 hours. There's a total of 16, but I'm sure that they overlap. Probably. I'm not sure. It'd be at least 12, maybe 16. So he gets to do some of what we did for the last couple of weeks.
And tell us about it. That was a tremendous amount of video and film, right?
Yes, well, we fast-forwarded through a lot of it. Because when we find out that it overlaps and that we've already seen this, but from a different angle, we fast-forwarded. Now the judge has it condensed down to 12 or 15 hours or 16 hours. He might not feel right fast-forwarding through it, so he might have a lot of work cut out for him.
It's likely at the trial you're going to see more than the 2-hour, 2.5-hour film of Michael Jackson's This Is It.
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
Personally, I don't think any of it's relevant. I don't know. But in view of the fact that the judge has ruled that they could use a limited amount of This Is It, we had to know what This Is It was made from. We still take the position, I don't think any of the footage is relevant. It might become, if the judge allows them to put in certain footage, then it might become relevant that we put in some of the other footage, but I really think it's just a big waste of time.
I'm curious that you're more interested in the clips that happened earlier in the rehearsals, around the 16th or so, about 9 days before he died. But the prosecution seems more interested in the clips that happened like the 23rd, the 24th.
Well, not necessarily. We were limited in viewing the footage from the 15th through the 24th. And so, regardless of what we're interested in, we looked at it all.
And so where now? What are you doing now? Where are we going now?
The judge is going to go look at the footage. I think he's going to be making primarily a review what he sees to determine whether or not there's any real reason why the prosecution would want to use that. I'm not sure what the decision is going to be.
Now, why do you say that this video is not relevant? I mean, it was video from a day before Michael Jackson died.
Well, it shows him on stage performing. I don't know why that's relevant as to what happened the night that he died when he couldn't sleep. There's no question. He didn't appear on the film as depressed. He was very talented. He was always, you would look at him, if you just saw one isolated clip, you'd look at him and say, hey, you know, this guy's pretty good.
But is it part of the defense that his health was compromised in some way, and that was a factor in why he died?
Well, we do think his health was somewhat compromised, but he wasn't displaying that during the actual footage that he was performing. Some of it was displayed on the actual footage that he did not appear on.
Could you talk a little bit about your concerns about sequestering the jury and why you want that?
Well, as you're all aware, we just came through a fairly highly publicized case down in Florida. And that jury was sequestered. That jury wasn't allowed to, I don't think they were allowed to hear all the arguments that were made by Nancy Grace and all the other commentators. Now, we just want this case here to be tried on the evidence that is presented in the courtroom under the rules of evidence. I'm sure everybody has an opinion. Some people, there were differences of opinion on the Casey and Anthony case. There were commentators that were making assertions as to what their opinion was. I mean, that's like a final argument by a prosecutor. How many final arguments are we going to have to face in this case? We're going to face the one in the courtroom and then face the one that they get when they go home. I would like to try it just in this courtroom, and the only way that I think that can be done is probably to have a sequestered jury, because telling jurors not to watch TV or not to pick up their smartphone, and I'm sure you can understand. You saw the coverage. In session thinks that this is going to be bigger in terms of coverage, and the pundits and the commentators are going to have a lot more to work with in this case, because I don't think Casey Anthony wasn't a public figure before this trial started or before the case started for certain. In this case, there's a lot of out-of-court common knowledge that everybody's going to have. There's tons and tons of film footage that can be relied upon. There's other cases. There's an immense amount of other evidence that really is probably not going to be put in this courtroom. And we'd like to try it based upon the evidence that the judge rules the jury should consider. And it looks like maybe sequestration is the only way that can occur.
Do you think that's even reasonably possible given the budget considerations in the court right now?
That's a real problem. It's a real problem, and I don't know. We haven't formed any opinions, and I don't think the judge is even thinking about it. The judge is probably going to be thinking about, we wanted him to consider that. And whether we file a motion, that remains to be seen. I've never seen coverage. Well, there was coverage during the O.J. Simpson case that was comparable to this. And now we just come through the Casey Anthony case. Remember, both of those jurors, the judges deemed that it was necessary to sequester the jurors. I don't think anybody thinks the coverage here is going to be any less than it was on either of those cases. So I think it's certainly something that has to be considered between now and jury selection.
Was Dr. Murray present during any of the rehearsal footage filming that you reviewed? Did the people who were present seem concerned about Michael Jackson's health?
I'm not sure what
On the
you mean
footage
by
that you reviewed?
that's all I
Stage
have.
director for the...
Thank you, Mr. Flanagan.
See you later.
Suicide. Did Michael Jackson fake his death to save his life?